Coach, let you now. Can you please hold with the fans, please?
And the aircon?
Please. It's as bad as the sound food now. I still discuss the sound. Don't think we've got aircon, Coach.
I see.
We're now joined by the Orlando Pirates head coach, Coach Jose Riveiro. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you.
If you may just give us a brief summary of the match from your perspective.
The typical derby in the beginning, with both teams trying to settle down as soon as possible, with some mistakes, accidents, I will say. The first actions, I think there's an action after 3 minutes that Sipo is doing a key save against Modi, if I'm not wrong. A little bit unstable in the beginning of the match, which is normal in this type of atmosphere. A lot of players in both sides, I think, playing the Soto Derby for the first time, and it's not an easy thing. I think little by little we work hard to put the game in the scenario that we wanted, which is more in control, not running so much in transitions in the first half. We didn't have so many problems to control their build-up. With small things to correct in halftime, and I think the second half was slow, the beginning. But I think we play a good second half overall. We control the game. We have clear chances. We have more attempts to the box. I remember one action, one cross from the left that the ball was flying there close to our box, but nothing else like dangerous, let's say. And I think when the game was about to die, we got a penalty and we put the ball in the net. And I'm quite convinced about the fairness of the result. Important 3 points in order to continue in a positive space and with all the options still in our own race.
And we're now open for questions from the floor. Are there any questions from the coach? Please, by show of hands. And may I ask that you raise your hand so that we can see visibly clear, because you guys are sending subliminal messages and we're supposed to know that you have a question to ask. So do we have any questions for the coach? Or we can just finish in record time. It is rather hot. Any questions? Going once? Noted at the back. Do you have a third one? Thank you. Noted. Thank you.
Coach, over here, please. Did you feel Kaizer Chiefs were a little bit scared of you in their approach? They didn't use any flying fullbacks, for example. Maybe the midfielders were a little bit more defensive than some of the other players. When you looked at the team sheet, do you think to yourself, these guys are a bit scared of us?
No, I'm not going to say such a thing.
Great headline.
It could be, Mark? A big one, imagine. No, I mean, actually, when we have the opportunity to have a look of the Star 11, on paper it looks quite a Star 11 quite capable to keep periods of possession also against us, with the presence of Zwane in the Star 11. It's difficult to predict right now the intention of Kaizer Chiefs. We were obviously doing our job, and it's a team that, for many different reasons, was looking, and I think still looking for the best shape for them, the best players, especially in the left-hand side. So we knew that the Star 11 will tell us some things about the intention of the coach for this game, and it's true that TT and Blom were not really deep in the sides, but with players like Modi, even Shabalala, Ranga is a player that can stretch your last line as well. But I think we nullify quite okay their intentions to play from second balls. They were trying to play not leaving Sibisi and Pepe without reference, pinning our fullbacks with Modi and Shabalala and dropping with Ranga and with Mtlu. Yeah, Matlu. Sorry. Forcing Pepe or Sibi all the time to step a little bit far from the last line. Was not easy to defend that action. I think it was well elaborated and gave us a little bit of problems in the first half. But again, it's not easy to play against Pirates right now for anyone. And I think, like I said before in the introduction, that little by little we managed to put the game in the spaces where we like to spend the time, and it wasn't easy for Chiefs to manage to get the initiative. Then, with the subs, with the introduction of Cirino, Obrigado, with Yusuf as well, I think they got a little bit more of quality and pace in the last meters. But still, I think we managed to impose ourselves for the most of the minutes of the game.
Question.
Coach, what does a win like this do in terms of instilling confidence in terms of being a championship winning team, or is the confidence something that is already there?
For me, the result is an extra all the time. You play and you train to. It's a cliche, it's a topic, but it is the truth. You play to deserve to win all the time, and I think Pirates deserve to win. But it could easily be a 0-0. Let's be honest. The game was about to finish. It could be easily a 0-0. So the confidence for me is the performance. Is that even if without that penalty, without the Tito's goal, confidence will still like untouchable, you know, from my perspective, because we deserve to win in a difficult scenario. It's difficult to play these derbies, like I said, for both sides. A lot of players experiencing his first derby. Some of them, they were before, but not in the start 11. So the result is an extra boost. Obviously, we are all so happy. We feel a release because we know how many supporters, how many people all around the continent, all around the country are going to be so happy tonight because of these boys. But the hope and the confidence is coming from the way that we are working.
Daniel Soames, ESPN Africa. Coach, since you arrived in South Africa, you and your team have done a great job closing the gap to Mamelodi Sundowns.
Thank you.
You're playing them soon, and no doubt when that fixture happens, it will be very intense. But from your experience in South Africa, from your conversations with the players, and an experience of a fixture like this, do you think it's fair to say that regardless of what the league table says, the Soweto Derby will always be the biggest game, the biggest rivalry for Orlando Pirates?
Absolutely. I think there's unique components around this game that for me are second to none. No, even if we're gonna play very key games, hopefully we need to keep this rhythm if we want to have those key games in the last part of the season. There's coming, hopefully, one more time, big events, big fixtures for us in the Champions League, in the Netbank. Why not in the league as well? But this is something special. I don't know how to describe. Imagine for the people that we are living these situations in first person. You know, what the people express to you in your neighborhood, in the supermarket, wherever you go about this game. They don't see any other game. It's still they talking to me about this game since 6 weeks ago. There's nothing in the middle. You know. The history of both clubs, the history of Soweto, the way that the role I will say, I'm not going to pretend here to be an expert on this, but the role that the football play in your history, it's going beyond the meaning of a sport itself, a game. You understand what I mean? And I think these two clubs have an important role in that history, and it's a beautiful event. Is something that I feel, being here for once, even if it's as an spectator, you have to feel grateful, have the opportunity, like people like me, to be part of this show. This is my 6th derby, if I'm not wrong. I feel more than grateful, and like I said, just to finalize the question, I think hopefully we will play for big things sooner than later, but the derby is for me is eating in a different table.
Coach, your halftime change, was it tactical or was it something that that was tactical? What did you see in the game that you made such a quick decision?
I think Muhao was doing a good job with TT, trying to find himself in 1v1 situations is where he can be stronger than I will say TT, not because we are friends, okay, but the name is quite complicated for me. The clock,
Doing well, Coach.
it sounds like I think that, TT was doing a good job with Muhao. He kept him quite under control, and even then we have a problem in the build-up to try to deal with the last line of Chiefs. They play quite high with the last line, and if you remember the first half, we were playing too much from Chaine, from Pepe, straight long balls with Chejo, with Relan, with Nkota. We were missing to have at least one more pass inside the structure, so we changed a little bit our setup to have one more player in the central corridor with KB and with Tito, and try to have Dino slightly higher on the field, doing not exactly Nkota role, but something similar, to try to get, like I said, one more pass in those spaces, and then try to run the last line of Chiefs with a little bit more of advantage, because we didn't create any problem to them in the first half with those balls from Sipo and from Pepe, more than sometimes collecting the second ball and progress from there, but not exactly the way we wanted to do it.
Wanted some question there. Yes.
From Betway Media. Chiefs made it rather hard for you to break them down from a defensive standpoint. So what adjustments did you make to finally get the breakthrough?
Many. The one that I explained already, it was the first one. Then Chejo was again tactically was excellent today. I think if you look the game, if you watch the game again, we got a lot of chances in transitions, in actions that we stole the ball in their own half, and Chejo was playing an important role in the pressing that we were doing today. He got a little bit tired, and also a yellow card there in the end. So we look for freshness with evidence, and in the end we try to play the last 10-12 minutes with Shandu like a winger more than a fullback, taking a little bit more of risk with Bandile in the last line and with Dion. And I think even after 90 minutes in the extra time, we managed to get a couple of decent chances there. And yeah, due to that way to insist and try to fight until the last minute, we got that penalty as well. So we got the result. So it seems that everything went right with the subs and stuff. But again, I think it was the final product of a lot of fight from the guys since the first minute. From the first minute, sorry.
We'll take the final 3 questions. Let's move them in. Who hasn't had an opportunity to ask yet? I think you had a chance already. Yeah? Okay, Njabul. Have you had a chance to ask?
I was saying, can you, so if
I would like another shot for goal, please.
Okay, seeing that they're confused, we'll give it to Pleasy and you guys get the final one. You two already had a chance if you're looking at the time. It's already been 25 minutes. So these are the final 3 questions. Please, can you ask? Final 3 questions, guys. Thank you.
Coach, how massive was Makaula for you in midfield today? He seemed to be all over the park, so energetic, he worked hard, deserving man of the match. And then also the penalty, coach, what goes through your mind? You look at the context of it, you see what happens, everyone holds their breath in the stadium, 90,000 people. He missed one in his last game and then to go and do that. Just your thoughts on it.
About Makaula, well, I think his performance speaks about the moment that he's going through. It's been. I'm sorry, I don't speak about individuals. Why? You see, you get a derby and. No, again, I think his performance is talking volumes about yeah. He's a proper professional. Imagine, you know. I think you can imagine. He's working so hard. He's pushing himself and everybody around to have this mentality that is taking us to the space where we are right now. And he was a crucial part. And the penalty. Look, I don't. Not because I don't trust the players, but I don't used to look to the penalties. It's like too much for me sometimes to be sitting there and you know, trying to anticipate what's going to happen. But this time, and this is not, I'm not just trying to be cocky, I knew. Just leave it there, I knew. Just leave it there, I knew. So I knew that if something happened like this, he's gonna take the ball, because as much as people sometimes wants to be critical with Patrick, for me, from coaching perspective, give me players that they always wants to be on the ball. In situations like this, in games like today, when the things are not going well, he always wants the ball. And he's making mistakes because he's putting himself on the line all the time. So we're blessed to have a player like him around. And as much as sometimes he's doing things that are not easy to understand, I do, and I want him to be himself on the field, because that's the way that we can also get the best part of Patrick in each and every game. And I think today he showed that he has that kind of personality to ask for those moments when the situation is crucial, is critical, and is not easy to take. And there's not many personalities like that, or you don't have the opportunity to work with personalities like that frequently. So yeah, obviously, if it's not going well, it's going to be another discussion, you know. But again, happy for him to, after what happened in Cape Town, to get the responsibility today in a scenario like this one, 94 minutes. So yeah, fantastic mentality.
For the last question.
Second last question.
Two.
Quick one, sir. Is Lisa allowed to play on Wednesday? Is Lisa allowed to play on Wednesday?
Lisa, Katlejo.
Yes. Some clubs are
okay, Sekukune. As far as I know, you catch me now, Mark, with.
I didn't mean to.
As far as I know, he can play. There was a case, I think, last season with somebody else, and I'm not sure now. I'm not sure. I'm gonna ask. It was a long week. Sorry. sorry, Mark.
For the closing question.
It's Kaizer Chiefs from News 24 Sport. Coach, you generally underscore the nature of results in the same way you don't like harping about performances of players, but In the context of what is clearly becoming a rat race towards the end of the season, how significant is this win, considering that it was a scrappy derby, but a win was produced at the end of the day?
How important?
Yes.
It's a again, even though I think the result is fair, is a reflection of both performances, in my opinion. Was not a 5-0 performance, but I think that Pirates was better on the day. It's a 0-0 game. The game should have finished 0-0. So without that penalty, which I think I didn't see the penalty yet, but I think from the bench looks like 2 penalties actually, from the defender and the goalkeeper. But anyway, one more time, if we want to call ourselves league contender in South Africa in PSL, you know that you have to go maybe over 70 points, perhaps, or how many last season they got? You remember?
72.
72, right? So any team who wants to be a league contender in PSL must understand that you cannot give away so many points. Even though we play in FNB, this is a home game for us. So the home games are going to play a very important role in that race. So it's a massive victory today. Plus all the emotional components and confidence and energy and all of these things. But again, we're going to Polokwane on Wednesday and the price is the same. It's 3 points. So massive.